I know you just put so many hours of work into your Tulip Farm cardigan, and now the thought of cutting it down the middle sounds absolutely terrifying. Learning how to steek is an essential tool so you don't have to learn color work flat. You don't have to worry about learning how to catch your floats in color work flat. We can catch our floats like normal, like we did in the Tulip Farm Sweater. This time, we're gonna cut it open right down the middle so that we're able to have stitches to pick up for the button band. I'm gonna take you step by step in showing you exactly how we recommend securing all of the fabric before doing the big cut using the crochet method. One of the reasons I really prefer this method is because it adds a little bit more movement and elasticity in your knitted fabric. In this video, we're gonna steek for the Tulip Farm cardigan. So I've just completed all of my color work on both the body and the sleeves, and I'm ready now to cut the front, make it into a cardigan. So for steeking, we're gonna need a crochet hook relatively around the same millimeter size as our knitting needles. You're gonna need some scissors. I'm gonna use my little embroidery scissors. You're also gonna need some scrap yarn in a different color than everything you did for the body. So the yarn that I'm gonna use is the same color as the last row of tulips on my sleeves. So just a color that's gonna look different from everything else. We're gonna start out, we're gonna make a slip knot, and we're just gonna crochet chain 2. Make sure your tail is long enough to be able to be woven in, but not too long where it's getting in the way. Once we crochet our 2 little chain, we're going to look at the fabric itself. So right in between here, we have 4 stitches in the middle. We have 2 background and then 1 on each side of the background in the flower color. Our chain to secure the fabric is going to happen in between. We're gonna grab 1 white leg, 1 brown leg, like that. I'm gonna take my hook out because we're gonna start at the very bottom. Our actual steek, so the actual cut, is going to happen right in the middle of these 2 brown stitches, but to secure the fabric, we're going to chain over here first. So I'm gonna follow these 1 leg here, all the way down right here. I'm gonna grab as close, go into the cast on first. We are going to welcome the yarn towards you, crochet into that, and just go 1 more time. So you have it. Next, we're just gonna keep crocheting up. So I'm gonna go in, crochet. Let's get that 1 more time. In, crochet, and then pull it through. And what this is gonna do is just make a crochet chain all the way up. So I'm gonna do it a few more times. I'm gonna go in, grab both legs, welcome it towards you, pull it through, go in, and we're doing this for every single stitch. Go in, wrap it around, pull it through, in, wrap it around, pull it through. So see how it's gonna be making this nice chain going up. So this is how my chain is looking already. Like I said, once we do the actual cut, this is gonna be invisible. It's going to kind of curl in, and the stitches that we are actually going to be picking up are going to be right along here, right on the other side of the wall that we're making right here. I'm gonna continue chaining the same stitches all the way till I get to the very top, and I'll meet you at the very top. Okay, so I've made it to the very top of my garment. You can see we now have this chain going up the middle. It's gonna feel a little thick. That's okay. Like I said, it's going to curl in, so don't worry about it. So let's look at the very top here. For the last stitch, I'm gonna go into that cast on. Just gonna dig my crochet hook into there, kind of grab it towards the end as much as I can, And then we're just going to finish that off with two chains. And I'm going to break this yarn. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail because we're going to weave that in later. Finish it off, pull it through. Perfect. So now you have one of your chains. What we're going to do is we want the chain. So see how the chain is going like this? If we were to chain up, it's going to be the different direction. So we're going to turn it. And starting from the top, working our way back down, we're going to do our second chain. This is going to kind of let the fabric open a little bit, and it's going to give us a runway for our steek down the middle. So like we did in the beginning, I'm going to have a little bit of a tail. I'm going to do a slip knot. Again, you don't need a long tail, just enough to where you can weave it in eventually, but not too long where it'll get in the way. I'm going to chain two, and then exactly how we did before, we look at this, we're going to steek right in the middle. So we want to pick up, on the way back down, we're going to be picking up these one leg of the red, one leg of the brown. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow this. We're going to follow what we're picking up all the way down until we find it down here. So an easier way to do this, instead of following all the way to the end, is we can have these two legs. So that's 1, 2, we're picking up on 2. So when we look at the very bottom, we're going to look at 1, 2, we're picking up these. So we can follow it 1 column, 2 column. We want this second column here. We're going to go into the cast on, how we did before. Wrap around, wrap around. We're going to crochet it into, we're going to start going up. So just to double check, we have one row right here, 2 row right here, and that's what we're going to go into. 1, 2. So we're going to dig into that first stitch. Make sure I get the right leg. There we go. Wrap it around, chain it. Let's go one more time. Crochet hook that I'm using is a little bit big, but it was the smallest one I had, so it's getting a little difficult to get into the stitches. And we're going to work this chain exactly how we worked the chain here, all the way up. And you should have, looks like 1 column, 1 stitch column in between these chains. And we're going to work it all the way to the end of the garment. So this is what my chain, my second chain, is looking like as I go up. You can start to see that as this one leans this way and this one leans this way, it kind of splits it open a little bit, and so you're able to see that runway for the steek, where the cut's actually going to happen. So we're going to eventually cut in between here. However, we got to finish this chain first. So I'm going to continue working up, but I just wanted to show you what it's looking like. Okay, so I'm at the top of the ribbing. I'm going to go into the cast on. That will be my last one. I'm going to chain 2. Break the yarn, leave a little bit of a tail. Finish it off, pull it through. There we go. So now take a look, and we have our 2 chains on the steek going right up the middle. Don't worry about this. If this is a little bit curly, that's actually a good sign. It means there's going to be a lot of elasticity, which is what you want in your garment. Now that our chains are done, let's move our tails out of the way. We are actually ready to cut now. So I'm going to move everything aside. I'm gonna pull this all the way up. We're actually gonna go from the bottom to the top, and we'll go slowly. You wanna make sure it's laying all flat. And like I said, make sure all of your ends on the wrong side under here are all woven in so that nothing is getting caught too much. These we will be weaving in at the end, so don't worry about those. Place them to the side. You're going to take the beginning here. We're going to follow right down that column, right in the middle of those stitches. And we're just going to slowly cut in between. We're gonna go all the way up. Make sure you're staying in between. If it helps, you can pull it a little bit to see those little ladders in the middle. I like using embroidery scissors when I do this because it just makes me feel like I have a little bit more control and it doesn't feel like a big chop. Feels like I'm taking things a little more delicately. We're going to continue cutting all the way to the very top till we get here. And then once we're done, this is going to naturally curl under. And then we're able to pick up our stitches. We're going to pick it up on this column next to the chain right there. So that first line of V's right there. I'm going to finish cutting all the way to the top and I'll meet you at the very top. Okay, I've just finished the actual cut. We now have an open cardigan. Very exciting. So now I'm going to show you exactly where I recommend picking up for the button band. When you pick up for the button band, you're going to pick up right along this first column of stitches next to the steek. This chain is going to curl inward, so you're not going to see it in the end. When you pick up stitches, ignore these purl stitches right here. You're good to just go into this other leg of that knit stitch. You went into the second leg of this knit stitch with the crochet chain, but it's okay to grab that leg that is remaining that we can still see, welcome it towards you, pick up your stitch. I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to go into the next one, pick it up, crochet it on. We're not actually crocheting these stitches. These are just going to be transferred to our needles, but crochet hook is really helpful in picking up your stitches for the button band. I hope this video on how to steek helped, and then you're going to continue picking up your stitches. I hope this video helped. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Steeking is really not as scary as it sounds, and it really does make your life a lot easier in the long run.